Music by the
You ready, Ian?
Let's go.
Kyle, you ready?
You know it.
Alright. I'm ready too. Let's do this.
We've been working round the clock. We ain't got the time to stop. We've been trying to find a spot just to chill, kinda feel like it gotta be the watch. WatchBooth.
What is this guy doing?
Welcome to the WatchBooth podcast. This is episode 2. I'm the MC. My name is Ian, and I have my co-hosts Jordan and Kyle. Thank you for tuning in for another time. Enjoy. Fellas, what's good? What's happening? What's going on?
What is this guy doing?
What? What's wrong?
Oh man,
Bro,
I like the look.
Yeah, you like?
I like the look.
Yeah. So at the end of last podcast, I said I didn't wear do-rags, and I thought, maybe that's insensitive to people who wear do-rags like you guys.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what?
So this is sensitivity training.
I have 90 seconds to correct my
Wow.
my mistake.
you
So
way past 90 seconds, bro.
Way past 90 seconds.
well, I was hoping, Kyle, you'd notice.
I noticed.
I'm a hero. I got my cape out. Y'all see that? I got my cape out.
You are wearing. You know what? All is good. He got his cape out. Real heroes do wear capes.
Listen, I'm just trying to show.
You're just gonna take the mantra and butcher it.
I'm just trying to,
I mean,
support you guys.
okay. Some heroes wear capes.
No
You
heroes.
can even. Some heroes wear capes. Despite what you heard. Wow, that works perfect.
Well, I'm honored to be that hero of today.
Should I drop the cape? Should I? Let
You
the
should
cape
drop.
out?
Wait, why isn't your cape out?
Because he made me feel subconscious about the cape.
Wait though. I think the best part of having a do rag, right, is this part. The reveal.
Unragged.
When you unrag it.
Ooh-wee! What's supposed to happen?
As my man DA says all the time.
Ooh.
Should I
Ooh.
unrag it?
Shall I unrag it?
Shall I?
Ooh.
Let's see.
Ooh. I think.
Yeah, really making me feel left out now.
I think.
Oh, I got a little bounce, a little freshly twisted bounce.
I don't know, but I'm sure I can see it in your eyes, guys. You guys are feeling queasy from the waves.
All right, and on that note, all right.
Again, thank you for joining us today on this episode. Fellas, a couple people reached out to me after our first episode and, just mentioned a couple things things that they noticed. And a hot topic was, and I'm sorry to do this to you, Jordan, but
It's the eyes.
it was the eyes. Your eyes stole the show.
You know what it is? What it is? It was our first podcast, right? I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah.
So, in Jets fan fashion, I had to pull my Adam Gase.
Wow. Wow.
His first press conference, he had crazy eyes. I had that crazy eyes. I got a match.
I got it. Look at that.
I actually, I didn't really notice
True to
anything.
the
I'm
cause.
kind of used to it. I just thought you were like, autofocusing like a camera, just trying to focus.
No, I was having some issues with my contacts that day.
Yeah.
Is that why you opted for the glasses today?
Oh, well, it's late in the day.
I just want to let you know that a lot of people are going to be seeing or trying to see whether the glasses make a difference.
See, that's the thing.
I am in disbelief. I think he's going to keep going. I think we're going to keep this up. This is going to be a thing.
What, my eyes?
Yeah.
Nah, it's my contacts, trust me.
I will say I don't miss those days at all.
Got the PRKs, right?
As soon as I get a little
Okay.
extra bread, I'm getting it.
Yo, listen, man, best decision I've ever made.
Listen, I can't even again relate with you guys because my eyes are perfect. Don't need them.
They're beautiful too.
Oh, thank you.
Look at that.
Your sea of dark brown.
Alright, so guys, since last week, what have we been up to, man? What do you guys, did we miss anything?
Well, I guess, today we went to, so today's like my vacation week. I'm off work, so we started today with a little bang.
Nice.
Yeah, and went to the casino. And I'm not really a casino guy. I really don't like to gamble. It's not my thing.
Yeah, gambling sucks, unless you win.
But, my brother and sister-in-law, they love playing the slots. So we gave it a try, played the slots. Lost a little money, but had a great time. Whatever. But I did go to a blackjack table, and I was doing all right. I was doing fine, but all of a sudden, there's the system manager. So they're having a great time. It's a virtual thing. You play on the table. It's all virtual. You can bet. Everything's on a screen. It's like a big iPad in front of you that you just keep playing. And they had like 3 dealers that were playing the live hands in front of you, just like up in front, almost like behind a DJ entertainment set. 3 of them. They're having a good time, playing good music. Every time they bust, that means we win. So they're going crazy, like, oh yeah, you won. Everybody's having a good time. Like, yeah, we're making fucking money. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, this assistant manager comes out of nowhere. And I'm trying to use my choice words because he looked like a Debbie Downer. He looked like
party pooper.
He just had the worst vibe. And I'm assuming if anyone's been to the casino frequently, they all know of this thing. Like, it's kind of like a bad luck when the dealer changes. You have to stop. You have to pull the ripcord because something changes, right? And this guy just came. He had that bad vibe. I felt it, and it was me and my brother, and we were just betting. Kept playing.
Oh, you didn't listen to your gut.
I ended up losing all my money. This story doesn't end well. But before this happened, I told my brother, I was like, I don't have a good vibe from him. Like, he's just, like, grifting behind his dealers. His dealers all of a sudden stop having fun. They stop like, oh, yeah. Like, when they bust, it's just, just straight face. And he's just back there just
Came
like...
out to crack the whip.
He's got a suit on. He has his hands behind his back, and he's just looking. He's got glasses on, looking like a douchebag.
He said, I know you're not happy about us losing money.
So he's just walking around, killed the whole vibe. I'm losing money, right? But as soon as he walks away, right, that's when things start to turn again. Me and my brother start making money. And I'm like, all right, this is the turn. This is where it's going to be okay. And I'm in the zone, right? I'm not even looking up. I'm making money. I'm betting. Hit me, scan. I'm playing blackjack. And then all of a sudden, my brother's like, oh, he's on your table. I'm like, what do you mean? I look up, and he's now my dealer.
Damn.
And that's when I should have... And I have no discipline.
You didn't take the
I don't have no discipline.
2 times.
Because I told myself, I'm going to beat him. You guys know me. See, you guys might not know me, but you guys know me. That I'm like, no, I'm going to beat him. I didn't beat him.
You don't beat the house.
I didn't beat him. And this is the worst part.
Did you throw anything?
This is the worst part about it. They have a soundboard, just like yours, right? When I lost my money, when my counter went to $0. They were hitting me with the wah, 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 and then they like a horse scream. Ah! Ah! Oh, and if you know me personally, like I'm very competitive, and that really got under my skin.
So you're like another 1,000.
No, I'm pretty good with like I know what I'm gonna bet, what I'm gonna bring to the casino. I'm okay with losing this much. I'm not taking any more out.
Okay,
so
smart, very smart.
So I did that, but as I was leaving, because I have no self-control, some lady right next to him, she was like, bye, have a good day. And I don't think she meant it maliciously. At least I'd like to think so. And he kept hitting the soundboard like, wah, ah, wah, ah. And I said, and I pointed to him, and thank God I didn't say what I really wanted to say, but I said, your boss is a fucking bad luck charm. No, what did I say? I said, no, your boss fucking sucks, and he's bad luck. I fucking hate you guys. I didn't say that last part, but I was really fucking hot. Wow. But I yelled that out in front of a lot of people, and then I left.
Nice.
So I didn't have a good experience.
No.
No.
I mean, Here's the thing.
It took me like an hour and a half to cool down.
You've seen the juju, man. You gotta listen to the juju.
I was
When it's that prevalent, you gotta just run.
I was convinced I could beat him.
Wow. And he knew that. He banked on it.
And that's what was really apparent is that he knew
He banked
that
on
we
it.
were competing, and
said-
he knew he was gonna win. Like the odds are in his
He
favor.
said, I'm going to take your money. And I'm going to embarrass you when you leave. And then I'm going to discipline my employees who thought it was fun to lose the company's money.
Was he Razor Ramon?
No, he's Razor Ramon, bro.
Oh,
I will say this is as edgy I'm gonna get with this one. He was definitely like a member of the Yakuza.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Like it
there was no Chico at all.
No.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you were with him.
I think it's much better when he's like Razor Ramon, though. Like, the Yakuza's scary. They're stiff. There's no...
He was very stiff.
Yeah.
And he was very like that's why when
And
he
the
came
worst
here
part is-
I had the worst vibe. I was like, this dude is upset that we're winning, and he put a stop.
And he was hoping you'd get physical
He
so he
put the
could show you
clamps.
his spinning roundhouse kick.
Anyways, enough of my day. How was your week, Jordan?
He made that face.
My week was good.
I don't like that.
I mean, I don't have anything spectacular happen. No, status quo.
Yeah.
Yesterday we went out with the kids.
Yeah.
Took them to go see. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, yesterday was phenomenal.
Oh, look at that. So
It's
what
not
a
a-
change
it's
of
not- but,
pace.
I mean,
Look at
it's
that.
not it's not a intense story, but so we got a pretty big yard, right?
Okay.
And
Should have never gave you our money.
okay, I don't like what you imply. We got a pretty big yard, right? And
Nice.
so I told my boys. I got two boys. I told them in the morning. At night, the night before, I said tomorrow morning, waking up, and we're
Yard work.
oh yeah, we were ready.
Yes.
I had so many leaves.
There you go.
So many leaves. And
It's like a rite of passage.
oh, it's phenomenal. Every time I can do something that my father did to me and my brother, you know what I mean? Every time it's like I get such joy from
It's
it.
like,
Right?
yeah,
Now it's my turn.
this is what it feels like on the other side of the coin.
Right, when we clean the garage out and we gotta take everything out, right? We used to do this like
Oh, Jordan, you're a tyrant.
we used to do this like 2 times a year, right? But we would have to take everything out.
Mhm.
We'd have to rearrange it. We'd have to sweep the garage out. I mean, it was like a all-day event.
Sounds like the academy.
So every time we do that,
It's awful.
every time we do that, I take a picture and I send it to my brother. And I'm just like,
Yeah, check this out.
this is phenomenal.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
It's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm in the steering wheel now. I'm in the driver's seat.
Right. So yesterday we and so my younger daughter, she says the night before she goes, oh, why can't I help? I was like,
You don't want
Okay.
this smoke, child.
okay.
You don't want this smoke, child.
So I was gonna spare my daughters, right? So I was like, well, if she's coming, then the older one might come. So I told my 17-year-old, I said, let's go.
Girls are now included.
Right, we're going. So, we're out there, and I mean, we were out there for so long. And I'm just watching them, and they're all tired, and they all want to stop, but they can't. Because there's so many leaves.
We're not done yet, guys.
You guys don't understand. Jordan has a very large yard.
Super large.
Very
So-
large.
And I had the leaf blower, right? So I'm blowing into a pile, but you got to understand where the yard is, right? And where I live, you don't bag it up, right? You have to find somewhere on your property to put it.
Oh.
I almost raked it
You
all.
make like a compost type of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. I almost raked it
That's
into
cool.
a pile in the middle where there was like no trees or anything like that. And lit that motherfucker on fire.
Wait,
Can you do that out here?
so the city doesn't pick
I
up?
don't know. We want to find out.
Wait, the city doesn't pick them up?
No, it's,
So you
it's a town, my friend.
Town? Oh, sorry.
They don't pick up.
Oh, I apologize.
You
No.
couldn't tell by all the dark, windy roads and bushes and trees?
Where I almost died
Yeah,
7 times
seriously.
coming here.
You got to do 20
Uh-huh.
miles or you lose your way.
You know?
Yeah, no, they don't pick it up. So I have I got like a little wooded area right in the back of the house. So I just put them all into and then I just blew it when we got it finally all back there. I just blew it in, so that it was just pushing in. But I made them rake these things all the way up.
Well, you know, if it's any
Oh.
consultation for you, it's not
Consolation.
child consolation, sorry. It's not child labor if it's your children.
Yeah,
So,
That would have landed way better if you didn't.
yeah,
butcher
you
that.
did, yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Just let me
Wah, wah.
screw it. Sheesh. Yes. Oh,
Oh my god.
Okay, Kyle,
yes.
how was your week?
Oh, I had the kids this weekend. Hung out with them. We watched Black Widow again and ate Oreos and did irresponsible stuff.
What was irresponsible? Watching Black Widow again?
No, just eating a lot of junk food.
Because why would you watch Black Widow again? I feel like that is irresponsible.
So the reason why I watched it again, so I watched it with my son, but my older daughter came over and she wanted to watch it. She actually neglected watching it because she wanted to watch it with us, so we watched it with her and ate Oreos and junk food and stuff, so that was pretty cool. But other than that, I just been busy business-wise. I became a brand ambassador for this new athletic apparel wear called Mortal Machine.
That's cool.
So this one free gear.
That's cool, but I thought we weren't giving people airtime.
He's a brand ambassador.
Well, no. It's-
Brand yeah, but how's that help us?
What do you
Are we
mean?
gonna get gear? Is
That's
what I said, let me get
is,
some free
is,
gear.
is machine works? What is it called? Machine works.
Magic machines.
I can't stand you guys. I also
Michael works.
I also
What
did
is
I
it?
also did a podcast to promote the business, but I plugged the podcast. So
Oh, word.
you know.
So we're gonna
we'll
get
be-
free apparel.
I mean, yeah, sure. You guys you're gonna wear it and be public.
I think I'd be a phenomenal
You would.
brand ambassador.
100%.
What is it about?
100%.
I totally missed it. What is it about?
Mortal Machine.
I feel
It's
like
working out.
you know what?
Well, no, it's more than working
working
out.
out.
It you know, and to be honest with you, the reason why I jumped on this brand is because it kind of lines up with your project in the sense that it acknowledges anybody and everybody can be a mortal machine, right? It, you know, when I talked to the owner, one of the aspects that he really wants to highlight is anybody can be a mortal machine, and you know, his idea is to have regular people like, you know, first responders or even a mother, single mother, tell their story, right? Because the idea of being a mortal machine means you just be your best self. You have to overcome the adversities of life. And so it spoke to me, and I was like, I could definitely get behind that.
Right. That does sound like a good story.
Yeah.
A good. I don't think I'd fit though, because I'm more like immortal.
Dude,
Anybody can
I'm
be
not
immortal.
immortal. Yeah. Why would I be
you
immortal?
are immortal. That's
I'm
the thing.
immortal.
Everybody's mortal.
I'm immortal.
You're
I'm
immortal?
immortal. Did you not just see the cape I took off a couple minutes ago? I'm sorry.
You don't.
I would have to-
You don't fit the archetype.
I'm gonna have to humbly decline the brand ambassador. I'm sorry. What's his name? I'm sorry.
Oh man.
We did see Ghostbusters too.
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. I gotta shoot.
Yeah,
I
go
should
see that.
have.
Yeah,
I
it's
have to. Just because I was a fan since back in the day. I used to watch the cartoon. The movies were dope. I remember when we vanquished Vigo. Yes.
Yeah.
I could tell you, me and my wife we both retired and we went into the movies, and it was an early movie, like 3:30, because
Nice.
we went to the movies and we went to go to Hibachi. It was actually my first time Hibachi. That was kind of
No.
Yeah.
First time.
No.
Yo,
Your first time.
it was my first time. This dude was flipping the egg, right? He's flipping the egg. He flips the egg up in the
It's
air,
a freaking show.
right? And then he turns the little spatula thing sideways and the egg falls on it and cracks. I said, I have a hard enough time myself trying to crack an egg regular. Just like, boom, without getting shelled. Man, dude,
This might be off base, but like, how do you know you're from the hood without saying you're from the hood? Hibachi?
Bro.
Hibachi, bro.
Anyway.
Damn, not like I wish I would have experienced that with you.
Yeah.
Hibachi's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
My kids were.
Were you at the station when we at least did Hibachi?
Oh, we do it. Yeah, Jeff Taylor does Hibachi all the time too.
I'm so upset. I've missed all of Hibachi.
But we
That stung right there. I didn't know that was a continued tradition.
But we you know, me and my wife both said, we looked at each other before the movie started. We said, we'll be asleep halfway through this.
But you didn't.
But
No.
you were interested.
Because it was that damn
It was
good.
interesting.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it.
By the way,
You know, I would love to say I'm going to watch it, but I'm such a bad movie watcher.
I'm gonna watch it. But I
Again.
do want to say shout out John Listro for starting the tradition of hibachi,
Why did you even give him any airtime?
because that's my guy.
Hmm.
RC62 for life, baby.
John, if you're watching this,
You're a bone skag.
there you go.
I mean, that may be true too, but you still started hibachi, so there's a win for you, buddy.
No, he's a rescue dog. You know what we do with rescue dogs?
Oh man.
Wow, that got dark. Holy cow!
Really quick.
Holy cow!
Really
we
quick.
save them. We save them.
Really
That's-
quick. Like,
that's what I mean.
wow.
We save rescue dogs from the dark.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Hey. So to get back on track here, right? And I think this is a good point to do it. There were some questions about like, okay, what's the direction of this podcast? So maybe we can talk about again, what is our goal, and what is our message, our ultimate message, our underlying message with the Watch Booth.
I mean, for me personally, you know, I think one, I like the camaraderie. I like to enjoy the time with my boys, but more importantly, really to highlight what it is we do. I got to be honest, and there are two types of people you encounter, right? Everybody loves firefighters, but at the end of the day, when you really start to scratch the surface, a lot of people don't understand the weight and brevity of our job. Most people, you know, they know, oh, they cook and they hang out, right? But they don't understand the things that we encounter. And I think part and parcel is because we as firefighters tend to go home and protect our families from those aspects. For one, it's self-preservation. Like, when you have a bad call, it's enough to have the bad call. You don't need to go home and relive it. More importantly, you don't want to drop that on your family. And so I think part and parcel of this podcast, at least for me, is to kind of bring awareness to what we do, the traumas we encounter, and how heavy this job really is. It is a thankless job. I consider it crazy, right? I finally thought about it. Like, without a second thought, I run into a burning building. Without a second thought. Like, the way that I go into a grocery store, I also go into a burning building. The same energy, same focus, just I have a job to do.
Right.
I need to get strawberries and lunch meat, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that. Burning building, I got to put out fire, protect life and property. I'm going to go do that.
You know, and that brings a good point, because this always comes up with like family and friends. They always like to joke like, "Oh, what do you guys do? What do you guys get paid for? Oh, you guys get paid to sit down,
Man.
eat and chill and stuff." And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like, we run into burning buildings. You could sign up for that.
Yeah.
You won't though, because like, you have to be crazy. Yo, you have to be insane.
There has to be something.
Yo, you're not right in the head to
Yeah.
do what we do.
Whoa.
Yo, when you really think about it, and he's right? Because I don't think we actually think about it until we do it. But once you're doing it, you don't have time to think about it because you're doing it.
Well, I think a lot of us have a good base, right? Like a good moral base. Like for me,
100%.
like I got into the fire department because I wanted to help the community. Like, I wanted to.
100%.
But a part of that, like the cost, is running into a burning building, and your life is at
And you may
at
or
stake.
may not run out.
Right. So, but it's kind of like what you said, like, right? We rely on training, and we don't
Yep.
even think.
You never think about it.
Like, I just think like a quick flashbacks to like other, you know, fires that we've had, and like how many times we've had flames rolling over us, and I didn't even think about like all the
Yeah.
dangers and stuff.
Like how seriously
Like, you can't
dangerous
see,
it is.
Like, you know, visibility. Like,
Yeah.
I wish people would understand. It's not like when we were talking about Chicago fire earlier.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a lit room where you can
No.
see. You
They
can see
never
stuff.
have smoke.
No.
Like I said this before, but I say this, like, I watched the show, and I watched the episode today while I was getting my hair done. And the girl who does my hair hates to watch the show with me because I pick it apart. But this episode really highlighted, like, how much people don't understand what they do. Like I was telling you, they went on a medical call, full bunker gear, helmets and all, for a medical call. They even brought the truck along with them. But then they went on a call for what we would consider a still, which is fire related. You're not sure if it's a fire or not, but there's an alarm going off. They're just throwing their jackets, no helmets, no tools, no air packs. One dude went in through a window, disobeyed an order, and nothing happened. It was so many things wrong.
Disobeying on that show.
It was insane.
It gets views, right? So that's what you want as a show.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking it. It's
like,
entertaining.
It won't sell if like the screen is just black.
Yeah, I gotta be
For
honest.
5 to 7 minutes.
If I didn't do the job, if I watched that show 2.5 years ago, I would have been sold. But
I want to be a firefighter right now.
The one time they went into a fire, right? I mean, there's flames blowing out of the window. I mean, it's as soon as you pull up, it's like, this is a surround and drown job.
Yeah.
All of them went in, not one line. No hose whatsoever. Their primary objective, somebody said there was a kid in there. They searched for the kid. They pulled the kid out. First of all, you pull the kid out of a burning building with no smoke. That's sweet. I don't know how you did it. They broke windows at random. And guess what? Once they pulled the kid out, operation was over. They never even put the fire out. I said, are you serious? There's no other company there, just this one company.
I can't get too into it.
It was too much. I couldn't do it.
I can't get too into climbing Chicago Fire because I need to get my music on there. So I think that show.
It's a great show. It's a great show. It is a great show. It's entertaining, great storylines. It's just, it's not realistic. I'm just saying.
But I think that segues back to what we originally were talking about, and because we kind of like went off on a tangent, but right, our podcast is called The WatchBooth, and how I see it is, the WatchBooth is an area where, and I kind of explained this on the first episode, where we all get together and we discuss important information, whether it's from last shift to the next shift. It's our gateway to the community. It's where we get all our information for calls. But a lot of the time we stay there, we sit amongst each other and we talk. And, again, this, we're all firefighters here, but we have lives outside of this career. Mm-hmm. And in this watch booth, we're just talking about life most of the time. We're not always talking about, that job last night, that was crazy. They didn't bring the interrecorder and up to the third floor and ventilated, and you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of technical parts of our job that we don't necessarily talk about in the watch booths. Sometimes we just talk about life. We talk about kids, family, what's going on in sports, politics.
What you're saying is we're not Sparkies.
For me,
We're not.
For me, I say
Maybe.
possible.
Possibly.
For me, I say I wanted to bring a human aspect to what we do, right? That's in a nutshell. There may not be a direct, exactly what's going to be talked about every episode. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is exactly what their podcast is about. If this was a real estate investing podcast, and we'd be talking about real estate. If this was crypto or stocks, we'd be talking about stocks, right? But for me, as humans, right, we're so multifaceted that people don't know. I mean, they know, right? Some people know. But you're also, I think you said last episode, people that you've known forever introduce you as Kyle, the firefighter.
Now I'm a firefighter.
Right? But just a human being.
That's it.
And so I always wanted to, with everything in the project, bring that human aspect, right? We're just humans. We bleed, we cry, we go through, we go through ups and downs.
And we're not invincible.
We get married, we get divorced, we go through financial issues, we go on calls that affect us. And we like different things. You like fitness, I like fitness. He loves sports, he likes fitness.
I love fitness.
right? We like music. We like to go to the range and shoot. You know what I mean? We're just so human
Man,
that
this one thing doesn't define us.
I don't want us to be defined by what we do
Right.
in this field. Period.
And you know what's crazy about that? I was talking to a coworker the other day. We were working the Harvard Yale game, and we were talking about like just the after part of this career, and
Did you hear that? Did you
Liquid,
hear that?
liquid courage there.
It sounded so sweet.
No, but we were talking about like the after part of this job, right? Like what's next? What's after this job? And a lot of people struggle on this job. They struggle with that, right? There's not an outside because, you know, we say it so many times, we're not sparks, but like how much of our life revolves around this job? Like if I were to leave this job right now, I mean, I have a couple friends outside this job, but a lot of my contingency, like a lot of my friends, my life is surrounded by this job. It's surrounded by like guys like you. You know what I mean? So it's like
I will
this
say
job is a huge piece of us, and it's almost scary to think like what's next, because this is our family here.
This job has definitely changed the way I think. And I think it's a benefit. Like it gave me an awareness that I didn't have before. And to the lay person it could be annoying, but like for instance, when I go into a house, I immediately notice like a hoarding situation or clutter. Like I look at exits, I look at entryways, I look at means of egress, and I'm like, oh, this isn't safe, right? And that's a benefit. I mean, I'm not overbearing, but I do tell people, like, if I, go to a friend's house, I'm like, yo, my man, you might want to clear this doorway, just in case. I try not to be too overbearing, but it does. It seeps into you, and it does spill over into other aspects of life, because we are a part of every aspect of people's life. We come to people's house at a regular time where in our family we just be home watching TV. We go to people's house when they're just home watching TV, but now they have a medical emergency.
Right.
We go to people's house when they're just sleeping. It's the middle of the night and now their house is on fire, right? So these things trickle over because these are things that relate to us, right? That could be my house. How can I prevent this from being my situation? Let me blow this candle out before I go to sleep because it's a fire hazard. These type of things. And so with that aspect, I don't think that makes you a spark. But I think there are some people who just don't know how to turn it off at all.
And we'll get to that later in the show. But I think this is a good point to talk about like the job and referencing back or looking back to when we first got on, right? So Jordan, you have about 7 years? 7 years on?
Yeah, I'm about to be in my 8th.
About to be in your 8th year, and that's just in the fire department. Being a first responder, how many years do you have on? I know you work in the ambulance.
10.
10. So about 10 years in the field. I'm almost 8 in the fire department, and this we'll get to all of us. But thinking now, what you know now, if there was like any tips or advice you would give your younger you, like that first day of work, you're all spry, full energy. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, well, how many times we get into this profession, I can't say how many times but like when we first started, like, what did you think? Like, I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna change someone's life. Like, I'm gonna affect change. I'm gonna help the community. I'm gonna do good, right? So knowing that and knowing what you know now, what is a piece of advice or a tip you would share with younger you?
Slow down. Slow down. When I came in, I started commercial EMS at a time that the company I was working for, there was, just ridiculous amounts of hours available. And so for me, right, I just worked. mean, probably first 2-3 years of my career, 64, 72 hours a week. 80 hours if I could push it. And burnout is real, right? And at that point, in my career, in my life, and where I come from, who I grew up around, therapy is almost like taboo, right?
Taboo.
You don't talk about it. You don't think about it. You don't. You gotta have something wrong to go to therapy. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So for me, right, I saw a lot of things that I didn't know affected me. And I feel like because I was speeding all the time, I never gave myself a chance to decompress. So if I had to tell the younger me anything, and probably honestly, if I would tell the me now this at times, slow down, decompress. You know what I mean? You can't be on go 100% of the time, and you can't bury it. You can't bury what you're going through. And I think I've spent a lot of time trying to bury things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I could tell myself anything or anybody young, I would just say that: slow down, decompress, take your time, go see somebody.
Word. And Kyle, same question.
So little known history fact. Jordan actually, before he got on, when he was going through the process, he came to get me. He was like, "Yo, this is what I want to do. This is what you should do." Blah 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 blah. Actually, I'm kind of glad that I didn't get in that soon. For the reason why I'm going to mention, if I could tell anything to my freshly on the department self, it would be consider the cost.
Oh, and real quick, not to even cut you off, but how many years you got on now?
I'm just over 2 years, so I'm just reaching 2 years and a couple months.
Right. So we're even just the difference, and me and Jordan, we have similar years on, and Kyle obviously he's pretty, you would consider probably pretty new.
Yeah,
There's guys with 14, 18, 20, so on and so forth, but just to give you a variation of what's going on. So go ahead, Kyle.
I would definitely say consider the cost. In the academy, they tell you a lot of things, but one of the things they always talk about is don't get tunnel vision. And obviously, if you're not on the job, you don't realize how broad of an idea tunnel vision is. They talk about on the job, not freelancing. Pay attention to your officer. Don't get focused on one thing because you could miss something at an actual operation. But tunnel vision applies to the entire job because, for a lot of people, this is a dream job. For me, this job was an opportunity to provide for my family, to serve my community that I love. Listen, I know New Haven gets a bad rap. I love my city, and I love the fact that I do something that serves my city on a daily basis, that I am able to assist people at a terrible time in their life. I can be a benefit to them. But what I would tell myself is consider the cost. What I didn't think about before I got on the job is the cumulative trauma, the inherent danger. Like, it's interesting, right? We sign up to be a firefighter and we know in theory what the job is, but it's not until I actually encountered the job firsthand that I realized, they had this thing they said in the academy, like, we're not that good. We've been lucky. They said we're due. And not even 2 years into the job, I lost a friend. And I never imagined that would be the case. And so what I would tell my younger self is consider the cost. Kind of what Jordan said too, pace yourself. But be prepared for all outcomes. And to second what he said, definitely find someone to talk to. we have this stigma, and I don't even want to say it's just the job, just being men in general. Gotta man up, gotta be tough.
It's a
And we
tough man
talked about
stigma.
and we talked about this last, but after the events of this particular year, this year that we're in, I have resolved to acknowledge that it's okay to not be okay. So yeah, man, I'll tell my younger self, consider the cause. Know what you're getting into and be prepared. Because you are embarking on a job where you are going to carry a lot of weight. And you got to be strong enough to bear it.
And that, I think, ties in well to what I had in mind to tell my younger self. And I mean, my part is twofold, because I feel like my younger me needed a lot of help. But
Don't we all, brother? Don't we all?
more specific to what you were just talking about, and is to really appreciate the simple things in life, or the more important things in life, right? Because we all do enter this profession thinking that, you know, we're going to help our community. We put our community first before ourselves a lot. But at the end of the day, right, you bury down to the bottom of it, your main goal is to take care of your family. We all have families that we're, you know, providing for, taking care of for, and we do this profession, and listen, we do get paid well for what we do, with risk involved.
Eventually.
Eventually. But, you know what I mean, but we do that to take care of our families, to make sure that they're prospering, that they're successful, they're in position to thrive, right? So if this year specifically has taught me anything, is to make sure you appreciate not only them, whatever idea you have of what you're doing this for, but to appreciate your family, love your family, friends, whoever it is to you, to appreciate them in that time that you have, because you really don't know. And you don't have to be a firefighter, you don't have to be even a first responder, right? Our days are numbered on this earth. Life can go, and time can be spent. You know, you really don't know how much time you have left. So you really want to make sure that you take advantage and appreciate those around you that you love and want to spend dearly with. And that's probably like the biggest thing I learned in this year. But the second part of that answer, for me, is kind of to jump off of what Jordan said, to slow down, but in a different way, right? Because we slow down as far as the type of calls that we see, and trying to, you know, really understand that, digest it, and all that. But I'm talking about slow down. Like, there's a lot of paths. There's a lot of paths that you can take. There's multi-steps to paths in order to accomplish a goal. So like when I first started, I always led with my moral compass, like, this is good and this is bad. And, you know, and that was, to me, like, there's two things there, and there's one path for me. Like, I'm going to good, right?
Yeah.
So when I saw bad when I first got on, I was like, no. I wanted to raise the pitchfork and be like, yo, this is not right. And I'm raising the pitchfork to 20-year guys that didn't want to really hear it, or maybe it wasn't appropriate. And I think one thing I didn't notice then, and I'm still learning now, but that there's like, in this, and I hope this is relatable even outside of this profession, but right, there's a lot of steps or a lot of paths that you can take in order to solve or get to the conclusion that you want or desire.
Way to skin a cat.
Right. It's like multi-steps, like in the directions, right? If you're trying to get to one side of the state to the other, right? It's not just one direction. No. You're not taking one street all the way and bam, you're at your destination.
Highway,
right.
Take the back
like it's
roads,
not.
You can mix it
we
up.
would love to. I would love to take one street where I don't have to turn or anything, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
We know the best route is that you have to take many streets.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to take an interstate.
Yeah.
You have to take a route. You know, you're gonna hit a lot of traffic stops along the way. You're going to hit a lot of traffic along the way. So I kind of think about it that way, to tell my younger self to slow down, take a step back, and think about the paths that are available in front of you, and use those paths to your advantage. Don't see it as so much as an obstacle. Remember the goal focus on that goal, and proceed that way. So that's basically what I would say for a tip for the near you.
Speaking of tip,
I got a question. I think we had a conversation earlier this week, and you were saying that your wife was trying to figure out what a spark was?
She was. So what's funny about that, right? So she saw the first episode, and we were talking about sparks, and I think you had mentioned that, like, you know, guys that listen to the radio all the time. So the joke was like, yeah, you know, spark. And my wife like, you mean what you do? And I had to like put the brakes on. Whoa.
wait, babe. There's levels to this.
There's levels, right? Hold on. Let me explain. Hold on. What he's talking about. No. So she's like, you listen. She's like, you listen to the radio. I'm like, well, I only listen if like something happens in New Haven. Like if something happens,
do you listen to the radio?
I do not. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I compartmentalize very well. When I get relieved on the third day,
that's it.
I go home.
Listen,
I come in sometimes and they're like, yo man, you hear about that fire? That fire was crazy.
I'm like, tell me about it.
Or my wife will say, she's like, oh wow, there was a big fire in New Haven. I'm
It's like, where?
That's interesting.
They're like, it was in your district.
In the hill. Oh, interesting.
Yo, listen, I'll do you one better, right? I'll come in and be like, oh, did you hear about that fire last night? Like, yo, tell me in a few minutes. And then I scurry away.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that
Ian, are you a spark?
No, so hold on. Let me explain, right? Because there are levels to this, right?
There's an
so
explanation.
there's
levels to
explanation.
being a spark.
Hold on. So I get like notifications. I follow like on Twitter. So I just want to be aware, and the main reason I do this is because I also have a brother on the job. So
okay.
I like
So
to know,
making sure he's fine.
and I'm not gonna even
What
make
division
it
is your brother
cute.
on?
He's on the first division, the same division that Jordan works.
So that means when you're off, he's off.
So
Right? That's what that means, right?
Yeah, that's what that.
You guys work this.
I'm not gonna
same
try.
days.
Hold on. I'm not gonna try to make it pretty. Yeah, you're right. You got me there.
Okay.
And I keep track of all times. But the reason I keep track,
I mean, you got other guys on the job.
I just like to hear that things are going well and people are. To be honest, I just want to make sure that people are safe and nothing's going out of crazy. And I feel
so
like
what he's saying is we're irresponsible.
No. I think our interests are different, or our thoughts about that are different, right? And I feel like sparks that we're talking about, and I was trying to explain this to my wife.
I mean, you are
it's
an
like,
officer, so you kind of got to be aware of what's going on.
yeah, but I'm not even thinking in that sense. I'm thinking in the sense like I just want to be.
I was trying to give you a pass. That was a layup.
I know. I fumbled it.
I alleyed it.
Right.
There was
right off.
That was a perfect slam dunk.
Right off the rim. So,
Sheesh.
but I mean, no, I don't want to sugarcoat it, right? On why I do it. No, I do it because, you know, I kind of want to just keep a sense of what's going on and making sure everyone's okay. And I guess this is a part of like being an officer, but like that gives me a little insight to learn from any mistakes that were committed there. Because if this year has shown us anything, it's that we're not perfect, and we can get better, right? So there is that sense.
When you drop the ball, you really drop the ball.
Right, and that's not to like get on guys for messing up. We all mess up in just about every single fire that we go to, right? But it's about how you overcome.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of get the jump. But I was trying to explain to my wife like, no, like how we define spark. It's like, and when he said listen to the radio all the time, I was explaining to her they make radios, not my cell phone. They make radios that actually pick up the frequencies to the city all times, and they're listening to it constantly. Not like they don't get a notification. They're the one putting the notification out. They're listening. Or you got guys that are like, maybe not on the job, chasing all fires,
who happen
taking
to be
pictures
on the scene before you get there.
Like the sparks. There's a lot of there's I think you can get like really deep into sparks, but like those are guys that are really gun ho, want to know every little bit about the job, whether you're on it or not. They want to know, what kind of fire was it, how big was the fire, how many people responded to the fire, when's the next one happening. I'm gonna keep the radio on till the next day. I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m.
A spark is somebody
Oh, what's that?
I'm trying to sleep.
Fire location 358 Orange Street.
Oh, this sounds good.
Floor,
This sounds really good.
You're listening to that radio again?
I gotta go to this.
Box number 4042. Reported as possible structure fire, 10th floor. Following company's response.
Oh, baby, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I gotta go to this.
Oh my God.
Do you find yourself listening to the radio scanner when you're not at work? Are you responding to fires in your personal vehicle? Do you try to clear your transfers to jump every gunshot call? If so, my friend, you may be a Sparky. But not to fret, there is a solution. Try No Spark. One tablet a day can give you your life back. Take that trip to the grocery store without being distracted by emergency vehicles. No more jumping out of bed at 2 a.m. to the sound of sirens. Even go on vacation and have a good time. No Spark. Take one today. Side effects may include chilling the hell out, having a life, spending time with your spouse and kids, and in some severe cases, having intercourse. Please consult your doctor to see if you are healthy enough to actually enjoy your life.
Yo, I have to get this other way. Do I need that?
You might.
No, come on. There's no way I'm that bad.
It's one pill a day.
My man said
It's one pill
if
a
you're in
day.
the grocery stores and you see emergency vehicles go by, like, come on. I am not that bad. There's no way. There's no way. I don't believe it. Oh, but like, what that made me think? It's like another part of sparking is like taking pictures of every single emergency vehicle apparatus that goes by. Like the fact that I have to use those words.
You mean like the people who sit outside of our station?
Hey. Some people are very interested in what we do. All right, so we will tread lightly. And they really, really, really like what we do. Sparks is not a negative word, right? It's just a word that we use to describe people who are really
overzealous.
They're really, really into the job. And it's not to say that us three aren't into the job. We're very into what we do.
When we're there. When we're there.
We train
when
hard.
We're there.
We love what we do. But,
or when I'm watching Chicago Fire.
There you go. See? You watch Chicago Fire. I don't. That's Sparky.
I don't either.
That's Sparky.
But
you
if
watch
I
Chicago
do,
Fire, that's Sparky.
I watch Chicago Fire when I get my hair done, and then I pick it apart.
We all three typically leave everything at home when we're done with our day. We're on our shift. We leave everything at the firehouse.
Yeah. One thing I try not to do is let my home life spill into my work life, and vice versa. I try to maintain professionalism when I'm on a job, try to maintain a proper, temperament. And then when I go home, I try not to bring the stress from work home, because, you got to compartmentalize. Sometimes it gets difficult. Sometimes it gets you to a boiling point. But I think what Jordan stated earlier too, like I am a firm advocate of therapy. I'm in therapy whether I need it or not, just for the hell of it. If you have nothing going on, break it down. Do every other week, once a month. If you're hot and heavy and it's a lot going on, every week. Try to do twice a week if you can. Just have someone to talk to. And I think one of the things that the WatchBooth served as is our own personal therapy session. We've had numerous conversations over the many aspects of our life, hopes, dreams, stresses, struggles, frustrations, kids, ideas. And I think that helps, having someone you could talk to, someone you could relate to, someone who's not going to judge you about how you feel at the moment, someone you can vent to. There's been times where I just was, going off, and you guys are like, all right, you done now? Good. And sometimes you need that, and that's appreciated. So, if you got somebody you can go to them.
And that, I think, brings me to our please and thank yous. I'd like to present today in the Watch Booth our new segment, not tip of the day. We're changing tip of the day, and we're calling it please and thank yous. So Kyle,
I suggested that.
may you please?
Yeah. So, please and thank you of the day. Please. As a first responder, anyone in this field, do not ask me what is the worst thing I saw. Don't. Please don't. And here's why. One, I probably am doing the best I can to suppress it. I'm probably in therapy working through it. And you don't want it. You don't. It's not the kind of conversation you think you want to have. And to be honest with you, if you do, I'm kind of concerned with the type of person you are. So please, don't ask me what's the worst thing I saw. Thank you.
They don't. They don't want to know.
Yeah, seriously, you know, and I can say, because I've been on the job relatively the shortest amount of time, basically my tenure on the job is just a quarter of these guys' job. And if what I've seen is anything in reference to what they saw, I feel bad for these two. I've only been on the job for just about 2.5 years, and I got stories for days, and it takes a toll. So I can imagine once you hit the 8-year mark, the 14-year mark, the 20-year mark, by God, by the time retirement comes, you need therapy on tap. You know what I mean?
And not everybody feels that way, right? We do work with people that deal with things in different ways. Not everybody needs, you know.
But is it that they don't need it, or they just perceive that they don't need it, right?
A lot of people suppress it, because I mean, yeah, I suppress a lot.
But here's the thing that we don't have, right? We don't get to go home with them on a 24-hour rotation and see what it looks like in their life when it starts spilling over, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have a full breadth and understanding of what it actually does to them. And speaking from my personal experience, like I said, this year I've made a declaration that I understand that it is all right to not be all right. Because trying to carry just this year's events would have eaten me alive.
Right. And then it baffles me. And I don't think people understand, and I hope when people are listening to this, they get to this point in the podcast, how many times we get this question and how many times
we loathe this question.
It's such a
don't ask
question.
Don't ask.
And especially now, I mean, you're gonna find people who may not. Maybe, you know, when I first started, I probably was okay with answering this question. I probably didn't think twice about.
How much stuff did you actually see when you first started?
I mean, I worked.
You're like, oh man, somebody got shot. That was great. No. Right. No. Right.
I'm saying I worked in a horrible district.
What was the worst thing you've seen?
The worst thing I've seen.
I would have. I never answered that question. I always looked at people who asked me that question. Like, are you kidding me?
The worst thing I seen was a drunk guy with his pants off.
It's such a hard question, and like I want people to obtain the perspective, like what you're trying to ask someone is to relive their worst moment that they've experienced on the job.
Not only our worst moment, but somebody else's worst moment. Like, I can't legitimately intentionally recall the worst thing I saw.
Yo, and that brings a good point. I wanna use this moment, and we're running out of time, but I want to use this moment for the dude that keeps running out and videotaping every bad scene that we have. Running out, making a profession. He's making money out of it, just to make sure that he's got video and he's putting it out to the masses. And what you said made me think about, like, not just what we're doing there is affecting us, but think about the families that are affected. Like, how many times, and this goes back to the spark, and like I said, I'm trying to not make that word negative, but how many times we go out and we get across these sparks that they wish for a fire, right? They wish, like, man, I would love to go to a fire today.
Drives me nuts.
And like, it's like the greater perspective is like, yo, someone's losing their home, someone's losing their property.
I'll do you one better. I live in New Haven, and 9 times out of 10, 6 degrees of separation. If I don't directly know them, I know somebody. Case in point, remember our first code?
Yep.
We worked that lady. We
Same
worked
here.
her. We worked
How
her.
about
We
this?
worked her.
We both.
Yeah.
We both were connected to that.
Right, and then I find out,
Guys,
this is
hold on. A code is a cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Code 100 is a cardiac arrest.
So we work this
We had
lady.
a cardiac arrest.
And you know, what our job is, we work them until the ambulance comes. We package them, we send them off, and then we transfer care. We don't really know what happens. So they may make it, they may not. But I find out 2 days later that this is a family member of a very close friend of mine. And I swiftly realize that majority of the calls we go on, chances are they're going to be tethered to somebody I know, or it's going to be directly somebody I know. So when these guys come to, I want to catch a job, I don't, because somebody I know is probably going to be losing everything they love, or somebody I know is going to be dying, or something of that nature. I'd much rather have a boring day, uneventful, because I know at least all the people, at least in my district, are safe and sound.
And I know both of you have had calls like this, that we've had some kind of connection to these people. Because again, so we're serving the city that a lot of us have either have been born in, raised in,
Born and raised.
or
I
just
grew
like
up in,
that.
hung out, ran.
Been there, like, you know what I mean?
This
Like,
is my city.
this is, so I've had multiple calls where I've had, especially calls like this, that I've had personal people, and I didn't know the patient that we were attending to, right? I didn't know. But as soon as I find out the connection to that patient is someone I know, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And
It
people
hits
don't
different.
understand.
It hits different.
That's heartbreaking. And that's not even like the most, you would say, gruesome calls that we
Yeah.
had, but those are the calls
They
that
tug on your
stick with me.
heartstrings, yeah.
That stick with me, because I just think about that person all the time, right? Or if I run into that person, that's what I think about. I think about them and that call,
Yeah.
and that eats me alive. Like, how do you deal with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy what we deal with. So, but to turn this or spin this into a positive light, Jordan, can you help us into this next segment that we have?
And now it's time for. Oh, sing with me,
And
baby.
now, it's time for our hero of the day. Brought to you by the good folks at the WatchBooth.
It's so inspiring.
I love it.
We're already a little deep, right? So I gotta
we're
be quick.
deep. Yeah.
This is I don't think it's a new story, but I just saw it like a day or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on GMA right now, right? It says, when a series of fights at a Louisiana high school resulted in nearly 24 students getting arrested, suspended, or expelled in a span of 72 hours, a group of dads stepped up to help. The 5 dads, all parents of the students at Southwood High School in Shreveport, Louisiana.
How come
Met
schools
to-
with South in it always are like bad schools? Why when the name got South
Because
in
it's
it?
the dirty, baby. It's the dirty. Met to brainstorm how they could lessen the violence in their children's schools. Right? So this is about 5 dads started it. I want to say that right now there's about 40 dads. And so essentially what they do is they take turns kind of they go in their little waves, and
They bolster the school staff.
they essentially act as security guards or
Nice.
guidance counselors or
That's dope. Do they do that like free of charge? Like, it's just
yeah,
volunteer?
no, they just do that.
It's fine?
They do it because they want their,
That's
they
impressive.
don't want what's going on with their kids to continue to go on.
Yo, that's awesome.
You
to think
guys
about.
definitely deserve the heroes of the day. Can we get them applause? Applaud these guys.
I don't know.
Yeah, listen, when you go out of your way, that's the thing, man. You know, one thing that I realized, I used to work in the school system, and one thing that lacked was community. When you're in the school system, and I know a lot of people give teachers a lot of crap, but at the end of the day, you got to understand, you are behind the 8 ball. If you do not have the support of your parents, you don't have anything, right? Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Beat the kids up? What are you going to do? If you don't have anyone to leverage authority over the kids, you have nothing. And that these guys, the fact that these dads are coming to the school to make a stand. There's somebody's a dad of somebody in the school, so at least if my dad's in school, I know I'm gonna be like, yo, Jordan, chill out, man. That's my dad, yo.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it adds a different element. Like, I may have been a tyrant, but my dad is here now. I need to chill out. And I need you to chill out because you making me look bad because I hang out with you. And he knows I hang. Yo, Ian, chill out. That's my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, don't be cussing, man.
They're doing this on their own time. I saw a video. When I saw the article, I watched the video. And it's essentially, man, they're just like, they're literally just roaming the halls.
Salute to those dudes.
They're in the courtyards. And all the students have said that it's made them feel more safe. It's made them feel.
Salute to
Yo,
them.
that's nuts because so I think education is so big in a child's development, as far as like their schools, like how many times it's been talked about how inner city schools just don't have access to the same type of education. And I don't know about you guys, and I'm sure you guys have, but the schools that I've gone to had like metal detectors, had security guards checking us all the time. Like it's a different vibe from a lot of people's upbringing, a lot of people's education, and it's just to hear just dads from your own community or just from like your own student body trying to take care of you and the students alone, because maybe I don't know what I would have thought when I was 15 years old in high school, but the fact that the students are receiving it well, having these dads like have their back, making sure that they're maintaining order, it's amazing. And as a dad myself of two, that's just an inspiring story.
Yo, the truth is, man, kids want structure. It's I know it sounds counterintuitive. They themselves don't really realize it until they realize it. When I worked in the school system, I partnered with another guy who was the assistant dean at a school, and we started turning the school around. I mean, the owners of the school, the principals, they kind of gave me free reign to manage the kids the way I wanted to. And you know me, I'm very unorthodox with the kids, but I connected with them in a certain way. Like, sometimes I brought the boxing gloves and it's like, all right, guys, like, you guys feel tough. Let's do this, right? They obviously didn't want to box with me once they realized I could box, but it was like they realized like I was willing to engage them, and sometimes they just wanted that father figure, that person that even the banter, the playful banter, like they appreciated that, and it garnered respect. So when I spoke, they listened. They just need consistency.
Yeah.
And they need people that relate to them, understand them, and are willing to hear them. I was willing to hear them out. Like, sometimes they're talking absolute nonsense, but I'm going to listen to it. Right? Like, all right, that's crazy, but that made sense. This is valid, right? And they needed that. But the fact that these fathers are willing to step out, you see the impact, which really, really, signifies how necessary fathers are in the community.
It's big.
Kudos to those guys. Definitely worthy of hero of the day.
So I feel like it was an honorary hero of the day, Jordan Grapevine. I kind of want to start ending the podcast on this. Right, we have Thanksgiving coming up. Today's Monday, so we have Thursday coming up. So, in light of the holiday, right, in the spirit of the holiday, Kyle, what are you giving thanks for? What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm thankful for opportunity, life, new beginnings. I'm thankful for new perspective. Like I said last episode, this has been a trying year for me. But one thing I've noticed is where most people would crumble, I find reinvigoration, motivation. I'm reinventing myself. Not to sound cliche, but like the phoenix rising from the ashes. I'm grateful that I still have two parents that I can call on when I need. All my kids are healthy, beautiful. They annoy the hell out of me, but that's what kids are for, right?
That's what kids do.
Kids are there to test your gangster. And so I'm just grateful for all of those things. I'm grateful that I'm healthy, that I'm in shape, that I could walk on my own two legs.
Seriously, man. Like, I'm grateful for the things that we take for granted, right? I got eyes that I could see. I got ears that I could hear. I got taste buds. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the most basic of sensations in life because I'm still here and life is still exciting.
Word, Jordan.
Everything he said. Grateful for life. Thankful for 4 kids who love me no matter what I do.
Mm.
You know, no matter how bad I fuck up. You know, they love me. There's always it's like a video game, right? There's always a reset button with them. You know what I mean? There's always I could lose to the big boss and I can still come back and play him again.
Extra,
you know,
what we call that, extra men.
You know what I mean? I could turn the game off, turn it back on, and I'm still, you know, my progress is captured with them. So you know, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for you know, a wife who holds me down, a job that allows me to give back. You know, and just friends who love me and breath in my lungs.
And he's also grateful that he's not wearing contacts doing this all night.
It remains to be seen if he did that at all.
He's been doing good. I've been watching. I've been keeping an eye out.
Well,
get it?
I refuse to let you guys bring me down. So I'm going to go quick. Grateful for my family, my friends, my life, my career, my kids. I love my kids. I'm grateful for you bastards watching, and I'm grateful for these assholes that are with me.
He's also grateful for that
jerks,
for that silky wave that he got from the do-rag.
I got the wave spinning.
You do not have. You have curls.
I am because I have wonderful hair.
Wow. Due to the do-rag.
Yeah, look what you did. You made me end the episode. Comment, like, and subscribe on episode 2. Episode 2 of the WatchBooth.
The WatchBooth.
Thank you for watching.
We thank you for
and being with us today. Hope you enjoyed, and peace out.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Me and my dogs on the front line. Me and my dogs on the front line. Be at your door when it's crunch time. Look, we at your door when it's crunch time. Risking it all to ease your mind. This all to ease your mind. This ain't a game, this is wartime. Look, homie, this wartime, yeah.